30 goals scored today in the Champions League match day 5, the first phase, and there were so many goals scored. Even Timo Werner got one for RB Leipzig, and that's where we're starting because Real Madrid traveled to the Red Bull Arena in Germany to tackle Werner and his Leipzig teammates.
It's not everyone's cup of tea, RB Leipzig, but they are a buoyant club at this moment in time. Asensio involved. Rodrigo, wearing 21, has led the line this season. That's over the top. Here's Nkunku. Courtois exposed himself and it's away into the side netting. But by Shoppish light. It's in. Leipzig lead.
Well, there's the header. It's actually a very good save to start with by Courtois. First header came in from Andre Silva.
And Real are behind. And Leipzig are good value for this at the moment. Round with the shot, it's come through here to Nkunku! 2-0! Asensio up through the gears. Pulled it back, the header is brilliant! And Real Madrid are back in the game through Vinicius Jr.
This is where it's made. Seen too much of Asensio. He couldn't get that any better, could he?
Really impressed with him. Off he goes, Werner in the middle, having a look over his shoulder, almost arriving as well. Simica looks for Timo Werner! Really well worked goal! Leipzig 3, Real Madrid 1.
Watch the movement of Werner. Starts to go towards the ball, realises that Eder Militao hasn't got him in his sights. And it's a really easy finish, but the movement was good.
Rodrigo did well initially. Oh, he's played for a penalty there, referee. Oh, he's given it. Well, there's a word in the air there, I think, from the assistant.
Watch again. There, just extends it that little bit further. And in my view, no question that's a penalty.
They're saying their prayers in the stadium. Rodrigo, roundabout run. Well taken.
Yeah, good penalty as well. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, right in the corner.
It's his 6th goal of the season. It's the last kick of the game.
Rodrigo Goes with that goal for the Real Madrid team, one of the 2 Brazilians to score for Ancelotti's team, but ultimately it was not enough. Meanwhile, at the Parc des Princes in Saint-Denis, people say Paris, but if you know France, you know. If you don't, you know. Paris Saint-Germain hosted Israeli club Maccabi Haifa. Maccabi Haifa had in their team the Haitian international striker Franz de Piero.
Mbappe do this time. Neymar finds Fabian Ruiz. Messi's lurking. Here's Kylian Mbappe. Back to Lionel Messi. PSG lead. PSG have missed a few chances in the early part of this game. Messi was never missing this one. Neymar back into Kylian Mbappe. Big chance for goal number 2. It's Kylian Mbappe! Same corner as Messi. Same result for PSG. And he is dominating the PSG goal-scoring charts. Ball coming back to him somewhat fortuitously, but when it did, he picked his spot. Neymar's touch in the build-up, equally as exquisite. But Mbappe's was the one that really mattered. Neymar, here they come again. Messi, back to Neymar, and it's 3. And they have shared the goals among them tonight. Another exquisite finish, in off the post. Pretty much unstoppable. They're already playing just for pride, but they have pulled one back. Has got them back in the game. I think they deserve a goal. Here comes Messi. It's Lionel Messi! The 3-goal cushion is restored. Finish. Zilli will deliver this one. Another dangerous delivery. Continue to cause problems, and they have a second goal. Great delivery at the corner from Zilli. PSG never did clear. We're waiting for a delivery. It's Kylian Mbappe who killed it with the first touch and put it in with a second. Another magnificent goal. A well-timed run from Achraf Hakimi. The cross was inch perfect. Look at the way he kills that stone-dead Mbappe. They must try and take the positives from this performance. Difficult when PSG keep racking up more goals. Mbappe just unable to reach that Hakimi cross. Here's Neymar. And still, oh, it's in the back of the net. They've got a 6-goal PSG. And they are all getting in on the act. Neymar perhaps feeling he was selling himself a little short with his two strike partners both on target twice. So he made this one.
Yeah, so there were actually 9 goals in that game. 7-2 they won, didn't they? And PSG really enjoying themselves. So the TNT international Brent Sancho is still with us. Brent, let's start in France. PSG really turning on turning the screws and turning on the style against an overmatched Maccabi Haifa team. It was really good to see how that front three interchanged and dovetailed. Neymar, Mbappe, and Neymar, awesome today.
Yeah, they were awesome, ruthless and relentless in front of goal. You know, there's been so much conversation about Mbappe and, of course, his dislike for Neymar and Messi and the entire situation, what's true, what's not true. But one thing's for sure, this is a team that's certainly flown under the radar as it relates to favourites for the Champions League. But from this display and other displays they've showed so far, if they keep up this type of form, it's hard to ignore their chances of going with the entire thing. Because what they present in the front three, I don't think there's any team in world football present that sort of attacking prowess and attacking capabilities. Yeah,
let's not sell the viewers short, Mariah, because you were saying to me that this is the game we should have actually been carrying, but we didn't know that Dortmund City would have ended 0-0. Mariah wants to see the 7th goal, Brent, and I want to show it to the viewers as well. Let's go with the 7th goal that PSG scored today.
To Leo Messi. Is there going to be a 7th? Yes, there is! And it's Carlos Soler that's got it. His first goal for the club. Messi, once again, the architect. So many bodies in the box. The little magician had the...
Yeah, Carlos Soler didn't even get the slide right, Brent, because he's not used to celebrating a goal. So the slide looked awkward, but the finish was lovely.
Yeah, it's a lovely finish, and nothing less than what he deserved. Look, I thought it was an outstanding PSG performance. I also thought the men from Israel did their job as well, because they did have their moments in the game. But as I was saying, I do really feel that with this current situation at PSG, with Neymar in a bit of form, with Messi it's certainly in form, and of course Mbappe in form, you'd have to think that they are there and thereabouts, but you just can't turn your head away from the drama, and as we say in local Trinidad parlance, the bacchanal that's happening at PSG, whether or not that's going to solve itself, because at the end of the day, you guys know that it's more than just your capabilities on the pitch will help you win the Champions League. I think the off-the-pitch scenario at PSG is truly a challenge for the club, and they need to clear that up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and Brian, because of the bacchanal, as you quoted it, you know, a lot of articles have been surfacing, and of course, you know, before we come on the show, we try to scan as much as we can, and one was actually talking about the fact that, you know, the headlines have been so dominated by that negativity that we fail to, you know, realize, and I heard the commentator use the word architect, that Messi, despite not putting up the goals that is required of him, he has been the architect of, you know, a lot of the goals that have occurred for PSG. What say you?
Yeah, everything that's positive is coming through Messi, and he is back to his form that we saw at Barcelona, back to the form that we saw at the Copa America when Argentina won. And of course, for Argentinian fans, that's good news with the World Cup right around the corner. But from a PSG perspective, again, it's very, when you get to the money stage of the tournament, the knockout stages, when you play teams like Bayern Munich and Manchester City, etc., off the field scenarios has its impact on the field, and those stories coming out, 9 times out of 10 it's true. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Normally in football, in locker rooms, in dressing rooms, people talk, agents talk, friends talk, and there's certainly something not right there with PSG. The question is, can they fix it? I am not sure if it can be fixed, because from what I'm seeing from Mbappe and the likes of that, I just don't know if it's a fixable situation.
Yeah, just looking at this replay here, the 3 PSG attackers against 3 Maccabi Haifa defenders, and you felt that the numbers were not enough for the defending team. They tied them into a knot that not even a sailor could unravel. Beautiful, beautiful football. Anyway, Brent, there were 16 goals in this group. There were 7 more in the other group game, and that game involved your team, Juventus. Let's look at the highlights. Benfica against Juventus over there in Portugal.
Pressure still on. And it's Fernandes who sends it in, and the deadlock is broken. And already it had been coming. Antonio Silva. Over it comes. Oh, the stooping, and Vlahovic is there. And they're claiming a handball, and Vlahovic thinks he's scored. The officials feel otherwise. And Juventus are not going to get the equalising goal that they thought they had.
Yeah.
This is taking a little while, and referee Srđan Jovanovic, like the rest of us, is just waiting to hear the outcome. And it is a goal, and Juventus are right back in the match. Away from Gatti, tidy play. Ronaldo unable to send it into the middle. Arshness almost wins it back. He's got a handball!
Oh, wow.
Off Cuadrado, it's a penalty. Referee straight away pointing to the spot with a chance to make it 2-1. Oh, and it was a chance that he was not about to miss.
Understand that decision. I just really don't understand that decision. There's no intent, genuine intent from Cuadrado to play that with his hand.
Here's Rafa Silva. Arshness has gone galloping ahead of him, just to the left of centre, and it's in. Rafa Silva! What a goal!
Far too much room. The ball is unopposed. Look, comes in the box. Danilo doesn't do enough. How about that for a bit of skill and a bit of confidence? Look at that. Brilliant stuff.
Benfica, though, that lovely expansive style of theirs, venturing forward once more with Gonçalo Ramos. He's the top scorer with 10 this season, but he hasn't really had a chance worthy of the name. Rafa Silva has. He's got another one here, and he's got another goal as well. Number 4.
Look at the room Rafa Silva has got. How on earth can he have that much room right on the edge of the 18-yard box? The finish is sublime. It's brilliant.
Looking good as well, getting away from Alexander Barr. Decent ball in, and Milik sends it into the bottom corner.
He has a little look and he just clips it up.
Stringing a few passes together now, which is not something we've seen them do too much the longer the game has gone on. Arling Jr. again is testing Barr once more, and it's another tremendous ball in. An opportunity not quite taken. It is taken now. Weston McKennie scores for Juventus, 4-3.
So McKennie gets his left foot over the top of it and turns it in the back of the net. And we have got that grandstand finish, Simon. Incredible.
2 goals in 3 minutes. Fabio Miretti it was high and hopeful, but from Juventus's point of view, you never know. And the tackle was missed there, and away goes Rafa Silva, bearing in on goal. Alexandro chases. Rafa Silva slamming it against the post.
Well beaten, really.
It was a late flurry from Juventus, but it was nowhere near enough on the night.
Wild game at the Stadium of Light in Benfica in the Portuguese capital, Lisbon. And in the end, Juventus biting the dust out of the... they've been knocked out of contention for the round of 16 in the Champions League. And they'll have to see if they can squeeze into the Europa League. Brent Sancho, you'd have seen the highlights of that game, or maybe watched it on one of your multiple devices from the SportsMax stream carrying all of today's games. Your team rallied at the death, but in truth, they didn't do enough over the course of the 90 minutes to deserve even a draw today.
Yeah, too little, too late. It was rudderless. It was poor. It lacked everything: creativity, of course, imagination, and it's been indicative of the type of performances we've seen from Juventus so far. Of course, their first exit at the group stages since 2013-14 season, and it's been a steady decline for Juventus, and a lot of the issues have been off the field. Of course, Allegri being a main part of this situation, and you just wonder when things have changed. Of course, a lot has been pointed to the injury crisis that Juventus currently at, but I think their performances throughout this group have been awful, and they've lost their chance to go into the knockout stages well before this fixture. This fixture really was just a punctuation of what we've seen from Juventus in Champions League this season.
Yeah, and maybe, Brent, maybe when the review is done on this Champions League campaign, that defeat in Israel to Maccabi Haifa was really the straw that broke their back. It really was the result that always would put them behind the 8 ball in trying to get out of the group.
Yeah, it is the result, but you know, as much as I'm disappointed as a Juventus fan, it'll be difficult to have this conversation without discussing Benfica and how good they have been this season.
They've been one of the in my book, they've been the best team I've seen in this group stage. They're dangerous.
Completely agree. And if you look into the knockout stages, the money stage, that's the last team any big team would want to draw. Benfica. They're explosive on the counter-attack. They have pace. They have creativity. They're very, very good individually. And of course, tactically, they're well set up. And it's a team, we saw them last season, of course, losing to Liverpool. But this season, they seem to have not only learned from that, George and Mariah, but they have improved on what they've done last season. And I tell you what, when that draw comes out, any one of those big teams join Benfica, they better be prepared for a game and a half.
Yeah, and to back that up, I mean, PSG took Maccabi Haifa to the sword today. They couldn't beat Benfica in 2 games, and Benfica was unlucky in both those games. They ought to have beaten PSG in the 2 games they played in this group. All right, so the results on this day, the full results from groups E, F, G, H, those were the games played today from those 4 groups. Group A, B, C, and D, we will see action on Wednesday to complete match day 5. This is what the results sheet looks like. Milan, oh yes, they beat Dinamo Zagreb 4-0, a thumping win for the Milanese. Chelsea beat Salzburg 2-1. Shakhtar and Celtic, well, Shakhtar came late. Giacomakis had put Celtic in front, but then Shakhtar rallied through Mudryk, one of the best young players on show in the Champions League this season, an outstanding winger. His goal giving his team a share of the points. Leipzig beating Real Madrid 3-2. No goals between Dortmund and Man City. Surprise, surprise. Mahrez missing a penalty. Sevilla beating Copenhagen 3-0 in one of the early games. Paris Saint-Germain 7-2 better than Maccabi Haifa. And Juventus, the curtain pulled on their participation in the Champions League with that 4-3 defeat against Benfica. Group E looks like this. Chelsea through. Milan and Salzburg will fight for the other automatic spot through. Dinamo Zagreb cut adrift in 4th. Real Madrid and Leipzig are good to go. Shakhtar will play in the Europa League. Celtic, their game on match day 6 will be of academic interest only for them. PSG and Benfica, look at that. Only goal difference separates them, and I'm telling you, the 2 games that they played in this group, Benfica were the better team. Maccabi Haifa, are in pole position to take the Europa League spot. So Brent and company, the other Juventus fans, will be hoping that their team can do the business on match day 6 to get the result they need to reach the last 16 of the UEFA Champions League. City and Dortmund are, City is good in Group G. Dortmund can still be leapfrogged by Sevilla, but it will take a big Sevilla win and for Dortmund to lose on the last day. So Dortmund favourite to go through. City have won the group. And yeah, so we'll see action in groups A, B, C, and D on Wednesday in the Champions League. Thank you, Brent. That's the segment. We come back with more on the SportsMax Zone.